My name is Bruce. Go ahead and subscribe and like. Usually, the panelists will be able to echo anything they want from this channel, this stream, to their channels. And I do suggest that you like and subscribe if they are personal friends or peers of yours. In the chat themselves, we have Lady One Gaming. We have our friend 61 or 6 Nations, 31 Kings. Emperor 1G bellows, "Entertain me!" And our good friend Grumpy Old Ninja Kentaro. This movie is horrifying. Full on hail. And he gives a round of hellos and high fives for those of us on the panel and in the chat. The Crafting Gamer. Sir,
Yes.
Did you see this movie in the theaters?
No, I don't think. No, I was 87. I wasn't even alive then. I first saw this particular movie, when I was like 16, 17. But I had seen the sequel like back when I was like 6.
Not bad. I've seen this advertised before. And then there was another movie called Waxworks, I believe, with Paris Hilton. And they had similar looking DVD covers at the store. And I never picked this one up.
Yeah.
I've got to say, you turned me on to a movie that is going to be probably more fun to talk about than actually watch it. But watching it was a hoot.
Mm-hmm. All right. Those at the beginning of the stream get the treat of seeing me in my leather jacket. Now, for everyone to be hearing hear the admit, I'm just a little pudgy to properly be wearing this. It's a little tight. I need to lose a few more pounds. So I'm going to take it off. Plus, I'm not painting anything while wearing this. I don't want paint on it.
No, I wouldn't paint anything with that. Lady, it's good, man. We had this in the show last night. If you want me to, I'll get you a link so you can watch the movie on your recognizance. It won't be necessary. I think we'll probably do a better job in the 2-hour plus discussion than what the movie did. But the movie was entertaining.
It was.
This movie was kind of a passion project. Is that what you found out, Janet?
I had never seen it before until Sunday. Sorry, everybody. I have bad lag tonight. I might get kicked off the internet.
No.
Oh, it's terrible. But yeah, I hadn't seen it till yesterday. But I thought it was really funny. It was very campy. You know, like B-rate 80s movie. It's exactly, pretty much what I expected it to be like.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not like I was giving any false hopes to begin with. I'm like, this is a cheesy movie. It's totally a guilty pleasure, but it is worth watching.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, the story was good. And I loved the amount of props and stuff that they used.
Oh, yeah.
There is a special effects guy. And I believe his name is Bill or Bob Keane. I'm looking for it right now. But he did hours on set that nobody else did. And I'll look at the trivia side of IMDb. But Anthony Hickox got the really cool idea to make a love letter, like what Six Nations just said. So, love letter to horror and horror tropes. And so you have this film that these kids are walking by this house that just kind of out of the blue is in their town, and there's a placard on the marquee on the front of it that says Waxworks. And it's kind of interesting. There suddenly appears to be a character up front, I believe, It's just David Werner, or is the shrimp out there as well?
But you don't see him until they go inside.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. David Werner is there, and he's kind of the movie's antagonist. It's not bad. He asks the kids to come by, bring 6 people. That way we can have a full house. And the kids kind of do that, kind of don't. And 6 of them go in, and 2 of them bail before they actually make it inside, if I remember right.
Yeah, the girlfriend got nervous and was
And
really uncomfortable.
yeah, and
So
her
she wanted to
boyfriend
stay.
kind of. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was getting a drink.
You're good. I was really impressed with the fact that they just let the lady go. They just said, "All right, well, she can leave," and her and her boyfriend leave. So there's now only 4. And as everybody's walking around inside at midnight for this special open house for the Waxworks, David Werner is kind of chewing up the scenery a bit. The kids do not act well. The kids, the acting in this movie is like MST3K werewolf bad. It's really bad. Like werewolf bad. If you understand what I just said, you're laughing because you recognize werewolf. But I've not seen such bad acting in a film since I watched a movie in the 70s, or from the 70s, called Manos: The Hands of Fate. This movie, I think there's even a few musical cues where they actually have that. And I was just, after the Waxworks start coming alive, because as the kids are walking around, like a lot of the Waxworks are like blinking or they're barely moving. You can tell it's just a person in the costume. Like it's obvious to see. And I don't know if they were supposed to be like that, or this is just like we have no budget to build actual Waxworks. But we'll get into that in just a bit. But the kids get inside, and then they realize that as they split up in this big house, which it feels like a game where like the players get to split up and explore the house and then find out where the bad guy is. And some of you know what I'm talking about with that, but it really felt like that. It felt like that a lot. But each of the displays is a portal to this special purgatory or hell where they get to be involved with the crime at play. And the various things, like the first one that happens is there's a scene in a cabin in the middle of the woods, and one of the guys stumbles in, and we get to see John Rhys Davies, and he transforms into a werewolf that looks just like the werewolf out of The Howling.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And that was great. Like, we watched that last night, and I had a lot of fun watching that. That was like the late broadcast. But I got a chance to watch that afterwards, and like, man, that looked just like the werewolf we just saw. And that was the desired effect. They wanted to have that.
Yeah, they did.
Bob Keane is the one that did special effects, by the way. And he was there on set like 12 to 18 hours a day for 6 to 8 weeks. Doesn't really give you an accurate record, but in the IMDb trivia, this guy did an outstanding. Like the first thing you see is a werewolf come to life and kill one of the kids. It's great, and the special effects completely made me happy. And I realized what type of movie I was watching. We had $300,000 or $3 million. It was a very low number for special effects, and we had about $6 for acting and 50 cents for script.
Well, that was one of the things. That was one of the things that I liked about the movie. I'm sorry that I'm lagging so bad. Was the fact that they looked like little sets. It looked like a museum set with the people in it as the wax figures. But that's what I liked about it. That's what made it seem more realistic to me for what they were trying to portray in the movie. to me. Because all of us, I'm sure, has been to a cheap wax museum as a child.
been
Or
I have not
an
left my
adult.
hometown, and there is not one here.
And they did a excellent job at portraying that each single set, and the fact that when a person went through the membrane, and then they were outdoors or in a real cabin, things like that, and it wasn't a set anymore. That is when you saw the actual effects of the movie, that the special people, doing costumes and scenes, and for the acting and everything did. That really made it really good, especially the part where before the werewolf even appeared was the foggy woods, with the mist, and he's walking up to the cabin and stuff. So it gave you that eerie feel, and you could almost smell the evergreen pines and stuff like that, I thought, before you even went inside. And
I have to agree.
I thought it was really, really creepy. It really drew you in, even though the set itself in the museum was tacky and kind of, cheesy, because that's what they really look like. If you think about it, a real wax museum has a cheesy set, and they spend all the money on the actual figurines, or the people or whoever, and the costume on the person than they do on the actual set. So I thought that was really good.
My favorite part of the scene in the woods was when he goes, "Who slipped the acid in my tea, in my drink again, China?" It's like, why would you say who if you already know who it is?
Yeah, it's just the fact that he thought he was having a trip, that he wasn't, thinking of it as being a prank, a prank or something someone was playing on him. That's what I would have thought if I was, fell into a set and all of a sudden I was somewhere else.
Yeah.
Six Nations hits it on the head. This costumes, the practical effects, the sets were great. They made it look like a wax museum. You look past the schlock of this movie, which, boy, is it schlocky, but once you get past that, like, this movie is like a friend. Because at first you're like, what the hell? Like, you're in that uncomfortable stage in the act one. But by act two, like, the movie is like completely, you're at home with it. And it's like sitting on your couch drinking a PBR, enjoying your cheap beer in your living room, and it's just having a fun time with you. I love this movie, and I thought it was fun to watch. Like, the more I was watching it, I'm like, oh my God, this is bad. And then, like, another thing happened. Oh my God, this is bad. And then by the end of that segment, I was laughing, or I was smiling my ass off. And I should have a camera on doing the reaction video, but I don't. And I'm sorry. But this was good.
One of these days we'll do that.
Yeah. This movie had I don't remember Jennifer Bassey being Mrs. Loftmore, but I really liked the episode where Michelle Johnson goes into Vlad Tepes's castle, and she finds Miles O'Keefe as the Count Dracula. And I thought we were going to lose Janet at that point, because she's like, hubba hubba. And he wasn't Greystoke Legend of Tarzan, but he was in a Tarzan film before in 81. And this guy, like, this guy was like the typical, like, slab of beef. And I'll just show this here just so. Yeah, we're doing this all high tech and shit.
Yeah, we didn't get to see him like that in the movie.
He's pretty close to that in the movie, though. He's still got the broad shoulders. I don't know about the abs or anything, but, like, he's looking pretty much like he's getting ready to tear off little what's her face's clitoris, or go scuba diving using her labia.
You mean muff diving?
Muff diving. And Miles O'Keefe was a tour. Yes, never forget a tour. A tour is awesome. I've been touched by the bad movie gods. I know a tour very well. If you want to talk to me about bad European sci-fi, we'll do that some month. right now I'm waiting. I need to make this proclamation. Janet, get your list of movies together for November. It's
Okay.
all your month with your actor.
Oh, okay.
You could have two steaks. One could be this steak, and the other one could be your steak, and we could slap those two steaks together, and that would be the effect of that movie.
Okay. That sounds good, but no cameras allowed. If I'm going to be slapping some meat, I don't want a camera.
I love this show. I love this show.
I'm sorry. I hate that I'm lagging so bad.
You know, Janet,
Let's
if you're
not
going to be
worry
slapping
about-
Bruce's meat, you better be doing it to his wife, too. Otherwise, she might get
My
jealous.
Well,
wife-
I'm not
my
going to
wife-
slap his meat. I'm slapping
my
the other
wife
guy's
would jump
meat.
in line.
Ah, I see.
You don't know my wife, crafting. She would jump. She would skydive to get between me and Janet. She's got a fear of heights, and she would jump out of a perfectly good airplane with a potentially faulty parachute to get close to Janet. You don't understand.
Aw.
She thinks.
Well,
the
one
world
day
of
I'm going to
her.
give her a real hug.
Okay. Now that is that's something that she'll be happy about. I thought this movie was fun. Like, you have all these kids get together, and then this guy he's Count Dracula, and he's seducing this girl that she's already like pretty much proclaimed in the movie she's a nympho. If I remember right, didn't he make the statement she's a nympho?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Vlad Tepes gets her. She gets a chance to really show her acting and physicality chops, because they have a nice white room where there's a fight scene in, and that white room got edited. I couldn't believe that. They edited that movie in the fight in the white room. And then after that was done, she finds Count Dracula, and he kind of gives her the eye, and they lay down on the uncomfortable marble stairs instead of using a perfectly nice bed upstairs and just like chaining her to the 4 posters and letting them go at it. No, like a pair of teenagers that can't wait to get home, like in the back of your 78 Thunderbird, they're getting it on the stairs. And that was how that resolves itself. Oh, Janet tried. Oh, she. How's it working? It's good.
I don't know. We'll see. No, it's still.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I hate to say that, but so we have the Count Dracula. We have a werewolf scene, and there's supposed to be a few other scenes in this movie. It's supposed to be like a Jason Voorhees scene, but there's legal reasons. There's supposed to be.
I'm pretty sure that was it. I'm pretty sure that was covered by the axe murderer guy.
I think that was superimposed by the axe murderer. There were supposed to be some kids from the Village of the Damned, but they couldn't get the kid or the rights for that. And the last thing they wanted to do was The Thing. They wanted to have like some sort of like amazingly luxurious mane of haired man fighting off a beast with no real identifiable origin, and he had to stick a dynamite. And I thought that was pretty cool.
I didn't read that part.
That's something I found on another website when I was looking through reviews last night about 2 a.m. because I was bored.
But one of the things that I did notice when we were watching it was the posters. When the police officer was looking at the posters on his desk, and something about the second poster was similar to the first one, but it made me think of Lost Boys.
Yep.
So
and they did have the Lost Boys on there.
They did have a couple things for that on there. So I thought that was really cool. I liked how they stuck in other movies, here and there. Even the night. What was it? What was the name of that movie about the sleeper pods or whatever?
not Village of the Damned, Puppet Masters.
Well, there was those little pods that would, when you were sleeping, they would.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Well, no, that's it did say that the Audrey 2 bud and it opened up and then they put that little dwarf inside of it. I thought that was funny. But yeah, they used a lot of little lines here and there from other movies, which was really fun.
Yeah, and the part where you get to see Frankenstein's monster, and that is Kane Hodder playing an uncredited role in the movie as like just a thank you to somebody that was involved with making this here. They like said, "Hey, come in, we'll do makeup. You can be Frankenstein." And so he does that for like maybe 3 hours of makeup and 2 minutes on film. That's it. Or maybe 20 seconds on film. It was great. The Lost Boys stuff you're talking about, they have a single photo of a missing adult, but the posters have the same information on 2 missing kids. William G. Bailey, 7/26/62, sandy blonde hair, brown eyes, missing since August 6th of 79. Call the Santa Carla Police Department. And Susan Wilbur, 5/30/69, black hair, blue eyes, missing since February 6th, 1983. So I mean that was all like stuff they were just given, you know, the thank yous to various films before this, which I think Lost Boys came out just a few months before this.
Yeah, they also the scene at the very end when they ran out of money because his father, the director's father, had told him, make sure you always film the ending before you do the end. You should film it, and he said he would, but he didn't. And then by the end, he ran out of money, so they had to just put everybody and their brother in the melee fight at the bottom. Remember?
Yeah.
I love that.
I had to put you on top. We can't cover you up on. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. But the thing is, I just thought that was ingenious, really, if you think about it, to throw everyone into a giant melee at the end to get extras and everyone in there. They didn't have the money, you know, they ran out of money. So they had to come up with something to end it, to be able to burn the place down and kill all the monsters.
And that was something I was really surprised about because they literally have a melee at the end of the film. They don't have a good fight choreographer, but they had heart, and they did what they could with this movie, and damn, did they make it look really good. Hey, Travis.
I like the fact that they had like torches and just stuff that you'd get from around the house to combat the monsters. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was good. You know, I mean, I'm happy we didn't see anybody with like a ice cream maker. Oh no, we're back on Bespin. But
yeah, the only one that had a gun was the owner of the Waxworks.
Yeah, David Werner, and that gun was on set for 2 days, according to how they filmed it.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a cool gun. And if the part where where he fell into the wax, right? And it splashes up and lands all over the lead actor. And he's not screaming in pain because it's supposed to be hot melted wax. I thought that in itself was kind of funny because there was no reaction from anyone that had wax flown in their face and on their arms and stuff. And nobody screamed out in pain because hot wax hurts.
Yeah, I've touched the candle before.
So just little things like that was really, really funny. But it was a really cool set, though, that they had that one battle on.
I thought the movie did fairly well. You know, I mean, as far as like entertaining me is concerned, like, boy, did it do that ever. But the more I read about it, the more I discover that was going on behind the scenes with this movie, the more I really enjoy it, because this movie was done initially just as like a passion project, as a thank you to movies before it. And people got on board with it, but they didn't really have a whole lot of money. And so they literally said, just find somebody that can buy you what you would need for a Roger Corman film, and we'll just film that. Because Roger Corman was notorious for using like the wrappers and the styrofoam from a McDonald's lunch trip for a science fiction film. Notorious for that.
Was anyone that worked on The Thing, did they help work on this special effects?
I didn't see Rob Bottin on this. Let me scroll Rob Bottin's real quick.
Because remember when we were reading stuff about The Thing, they were using all types of things, garbage bags, anything that they could get their hands on. The hot tub that they covered with the spray foam stuff to make it look like ice, that all that stuff. They did a really good job. And I thought the special effects for the werewolf when he was in transformation, the young guy, when he was on the ground, he was changing, or he was sitting in the chair changing. It looked just like one of the scenes from American Werewolf in London, I thought.
None of the guys from The Thing, most importantly Rob Bottin, was involved with this. Travis J1975. This is Lightning, one of the three storms from Big Trouble in Little China, the board game. And I'm working on getting him to be a fully painted fig, because you never know when my players will teleport to San Francisco. The San Francisco I would run would be 1986 San Francisco. That way we could do it right.
Especially with Chance having those boots.
Yeah. What did you guys think about the film as it went on, and the mousy girl? What's her name? Of course, now I want to draw a blank on her name, but the one that was dating the
Anna Ashbrook.
Yes. Yeah. What did you guys think
That
about
wasn't Dana. What was her name? Oh, it was Michelle
Deborah
Johnson.
Foreman. Yep.
Oh, Deborah Foreman. Okay, she played Sarah. She was the virgin.
Yep, she's
right?
the virgin. Yes.
So the part where she's daydreaming about what it would be like to get the shit beat out of her. The fantasy of, whips and chains and all that stuff, bondage.
Yeah, you can see that.
She was definitely intrigued.
Yeah, that I don't think there was a lot of acting going on there. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to sound like a super perv. Don't look at my Reddit subscriptions. Okay, thank you. I would like to say that was something in the movie when I saw that I'm like, this is going to be an easy way for her to act, because I kind of caught on to that once they started getting things ready. It's like, oh, they're going to give her the bondage treatment. Awesome.
Because he just likes to whip you into submission, basically.
Yeah.
So that to him was the thrill for that character that was whipping her for the king or something, the prince or whatever.
Yeah.
That he was talking to. God. Yeah. So, and then all the girls that were in his bedroom, I guess, because then we're finished with her. They were going to go into the bedroom, I guess, down the hall. And they had the pretty girls in there. Because I was thinking about dressing up as that little brunette with the short hair. But
you could have pulled it off like after her baby or something. I mean, she didn't always say.
Yeah, I just have to wear a really tight bra that holds everything in, and then wear a shirt that's kind of flousy over it. It makes it look smaller.
You did well tonight. You did really good tonight. The views will happen tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, I like this one. I like purple. I haven't worn purple on here before, so kind of hard to see it, but it is purple.
It looks good. What we were allowed to see, we were happy with. I think my chat will agree with me. I've got to say this is interesting, because as the movie keeps going on, they enlist the help of the cops, and cops turn into like an acting mania.
I thought he got better as he went on, though. Because when he got into the mummy's tomb, I thought he was a better actor than he was as a police officer.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. The mummy's tomb was good. I just, when the cop was in there I didn't really. I the only person selling me on that scene was David Warner, and everybody else was just like noise.
Hmm.
Because if I listened to what they said and I watched them, I thought I was watching Werewolf with MST3K, and that's never a good comparison. You're at the bottom of the barrel. You're eating the splinters, the nasty whiskey and swill-soaked splinters. It was a interesting choice for them to do all of the Universal movie monsters. It felt like that was the thing that kind of blew me away because I didn't think this was a Universal Pictures film.
No, they just did classic horror. That's what they did. You know, Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, Werewolf. Those are all, you know, classics that every single person would know who they are as soon as they saw them, even if they didn't look identical to the one in the movie they saw. They've read books or something about those characters. So that's why they pick those. And then the little things like the feed me, all that different stuff. That was just a little like a hurrah to those great, scary movies. That's when they did it. And then the zombies too, when the lead got pushed into the graveyard. That was a really cool scene because you could definitely tell it was really outside and that they were he was running, and the whole thing with the crawling hand thing was just really funny. That was my favorite scene in the movie. I liked it.
Go, thing.
I think they did this crawling hand pretty well too.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really good.
That crawling hand was filmed in reverse. We found out.
Mm-hmm.
I found out it was filmed in reverse, and I thought, like, wow, that would be kind of cool, and how to get that to where you could get it to move and do all your flips and roll over the knuckles and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't expecting that.
Well, and when it was crawling through the grass, it was just scratching through the ground and stuff. That was all really, really cool, I thought. So that was a good effect. And it looked like real grass to me.
This movie sold me a lot. I believe most of this film when they were doing the scenes with the Waxworks or the various like special hells. I thought it was I was believing what they were presenting. I had no issue with that. But when you had the characters trying to do dramatic acting, I was not impressed.
I didn't think he was. I just thought in a couple parts, the one police officer was overacting. And he was yelling at the kid and telling him to stay here and shut up. And the part where he was down at his desk and he was throwing his papers around and yelling, that to me was just a little over the top.
Yeah. Do you remember the Death at 20,000 Feet Twilight Zone episode with William Shatner?
Mm-hmm.
You've seen that?
Yes.
Okay. That was what I felt he was trying to do.
Yeah, I guess.
Relentless Mikey, Dark Delight says, Janet!
Hello. I have bad lag. I'm sorry. I'm in the Hillbillyville.
We will forgive you. As Bob Wilkins would say, watch horror films and keep America strong.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
But yeah, there was just so many little, I don't know, little nods everywhere in every single scene, basically, to something else. And to have him in the wheelchair from the actual movie, the werewolf movie, yes, getting his head bit off by the werewolf was really cool. Yeah. And that one thing isn't that how he died in the movie?
He died. Go ahead.
No, I mean in the movie, the Wolfen movie, didn't he die that way too?
I just watched this last night, and why am I drawing a blank? I think he died like that.
Because I thought that was like because like we were talking about the different things that were happening, like played homage to the other movies, right? So you had the zombies, and you had the crawling hand, and then you had the little feed me, part, just little things like that. And then you had that with the his head getting bit off by the werewolf, and he was the actor that was in that movie that got killed by the werewolf. So I thought that was like a nod to that movie too. But what do you think?
I thought it was a good nod to The Howling, but it was also a really good nod to his career and the time and money that he made from The Howling, because I know that was one of his bigger films that he was involved with. And after watching that last night, I went back through his IMDb, and basically, like, that movie reinvigorated his career because he was struggling for a bit, and The Howling put him on the map for a while.
Kind of wish crap hadn't happened last night, so I could have watched it then. That might have been interesting.
Oh, so you could watch The Howling?
I didn't have a good stream of it going. I had just like a little bitty like internet archive on there. Just watched Deliver Us from Evil, decent horror flicks, creepy scripting. Okay, I've not seen that one. Might check it out later.
We need a notebook. Start writing all these movies down, because I get people telling me movies all the time now.
Well, I will need 4 movies with Sean Patrick Flannery from you before the start of November.
Okay.
So basically, the Wednesday after Halloween, we need to have that set up.
Why is it? Is it eye candy month or what?
It's my way of kissing your ass before I hit us with January Philip K. Dick month.
As long as you don't make me watch that one movie, I'll be all right.
I won't make you watch Willy's Wonderland. I promise.
Okay, good.
The only way I would do that to you, Janet, is if I won the lottery and I shipped our friends from all over the United States to some podunk Alamo Draft House in Oklahoma and Ubered you over there. That way, when it was over, you could leave.
Yeah.
You could leave without any problems. And we would all be watching Willy's Wonderland in a alcohol-soaked theater.
Yeah, you'd have to be alcohol soaked to get through that movie.
There's no way I'm going to watch that movie sober. That just won't happen. I know how I am. I am a weak man, and if I am not allowed good viewing media, at least me allow my standard drink. Also, I do want to give a small shout out. This will never reach his ears, but to the great and wonderful Sir Michael Caine, for all the years of great movies you've given us, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can't believe he's retiring. I mean, I
What,
almost
he's
want to cry.
90 now, right?
Yeah, I mean, him and Gene Hackman have earned it. They're in their 90s. They can be retired actors. But come on, we were doing so good. I mean, just 10 years ago, he had filmed Larry Brown, which was the precursor to John Wick, precursor to The Equalizer, and all these other movies where the guy never gets punched, hurt, or nothing. It's amazing.
I was going to say something about that, but now I can't remember what I was going to say.
It's the Crow.
I can't remember. See, I put earrings on and then I can't think anymore.
They're not earrings, they're brain suckers.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are. Your IQ drops as soon as you put hairspray on.
Is that what happened in the 80s? Because I
think so.
I have
Brain cells died.
I have some really ugly cousins, and I think that's what happened. I don't know if she's giving up Sigourney Weaver Ghostbuster vibes. I've never compared Janet to an actress. Maybe one of these days I will.
Gina Davis.
No, Angelina Jolie.
Well, I've been told I look like Sigourney Weaver. I've had people tell me I look like Susan Sarandon. Lots of different people. So
those aren't bad ladies to look like at all.
So, and when I was young,
everybody's ever had.
When I was younger, you know, I was a tomboy, so I didn't look like either one of them ladies.
I've seen photos of you from like your middle school, early high school that you've shown us. Your sister's not talking to me. She's not sending me photos or things. It's all you. When you and your sister were growing up, you were really cute kids. You were really cute.
For a tomboy, yes.
Go ahead, say that prefix there, and think it absolves you of all your sexuality or beauty, whatever. We know the truth.
Oh, thank you.
Besides, some guys are into tomboys.
Well, thank goodness, because those tomboys would be lonely.
I mean, I married a woman that plays with diesel and truck tires.
Yeah, I think tomboys are very important for society. Honestly, somebody can do things around the house and take care of children. So important.
You look marvelous. I remember you doing that.
Billy Crystal, right?
Yeah.
That was him was it on Saturday Night Live?
He did that a couple times, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a skit or something it came back from. Well, that line. But now, where were we on the movie? I was trying to remember.
The very end of the film, we kind of had drifted through the various things where we got to see the various classic movie horror monsters. The end of the movie is just a big scrum. It's a huge fight, middle of the stage. We get to see everybody going at it. John Rhys Davies, I don't think is a werewolf, but somebody else has got the werewolf outfit, and they rip off the poor man's head that's in the combat wheelchair. He died too soon. That was a very well done choreographed scrum. It was not really a good fight. The combatants did not look like they were quote unquote trained fighters. But this is a thing with like 80s movies. Like most of the fights in 80s movies, name one good fight in an 80s movie. I'll wait. I'll die of old age.
Well,
there were a lot of
Jean-Claude Van Damme, he fought well, and Chuck Norris. Those were good fights.
The best fight Chuck Norris did on camera, I think, is probably Return of the Dragon, where him and Bruce Lee were running in and out of the Coliseum to do their fight scene because they had to film it guerrilla style, and they weren't allowed to film in the Coliseum, so they had to go in with the cameraman, do their few minutes, and that fight still it was good, but it wasn't quote unquote intense. And the reason why I say that movies like Extraction, The Raid, those movies have really spoiled me. And Jean-Claude Van Damme, I think Bloodsport was probably not as good as his fighting in No Retreat, No Surrender, which one of these days we'll have to talk about that bad movie. That is, I think that's a Canon Film Group film.
Yeah.
And those are my favorite. Those really are my favorite. I don't want to. I want to give. I want to get some time between us before we get into those because
That's interesting if you think about it. Your two number one most watched movies reviews are The Great Raid and The Raid.
Yeah.
Two, right?
Mhm.
So that's pretty interesting.
But The Great Read, you sprinkled that with some internet dust, and
But it's a great movie too. It's
the
very,
average view
very well
duration,
made.
the average view duration on that movie is like 46 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very short. The
Oh,
movie The Raid, we get 33 minutes and 40 seconds.
that's good.
Not
That's
bad.
Mhm.
There was a song that was written. The title track of an album was called "You Look Marvelous," written by Billy Crystal and Paul Schaefer. And there was a music video that was on MTV.
Mhm.
So they're talking about Fernando Lamas is talking, "You look marvelous," and that was a joke.
Yeah. I know. I remember seeing him do that, I thought, on Saturday Night Live.
Bloodsport had some okay fights in it. I think you're needing to rewatch No Retreat, No Surrender again because Van Damme, he's good in Bloodsport. Don't get me wrong, and the fights in Bloodsport are okay. Watch No Retreat, No Surrender because he goes whole ham, whole William Shatner in being a bad guy. It's the best Van Damme we ever got. I hate to say that. I really do because I've never seen the footage from the Predator movie before they got rid of him. He was supposed to be the Predator. The Predator was supposed to be some sort of mantis alien, and he was dressed up in a red rubber suit in the middle of the jungle, and he wasn't having none of that. Like, they're trying to spritz him down and give him like cooling sprays, and he's over there at the tent with all the cocaine, and it's not working well.
No, I don't guess I've seen that. So I don't know what you're talking about.
The Predator movie,
Mhm.
years ago, the Predator movie was being directed by the guy that played Billy in the Predator movie, and he was talking with McTiernan, the director of Die Hard. No, I think it was McTiernan. Anyway, when they were discussing things, James Cameron was there on a flight and said nobody's done a proper alien movie with a mandible, with like an insectoid like face, and the alien was supposed to be like a mantis itself, so it had little two pinchers on the side, but the footage from it is grainy and looks like shit. And Jean-Claude Van Damme was not happy about doing that because he wants to be out buff, wearing a loincloth in the middle of the jungle with like all of his swarthy heroes, and he
just throw himself off.
He's a narcissist.
Yeah.
That's why I don't.
Well, if you could fight like him, you'd probably be a narcissist too.
So I don't watch his movies because I kind of get that feeling. Like if I want to be toxic, I'll go to Nick's channel tomorrow night and I'll be toxic. But I don't talk about his stuff here because Van Damme really bores the shit out of me.
I thought you'd like it. I thought you liked his movies and stuff.
When I was a teenager and before I got a full mane of chest hair, I mean, before, yeah. But like the Van Damme movie I like best is the one nobody likes, that's Cyborg. There's a bunch of other films he's done that I've refused to watch because I can only handle so much Van Damme. I can't. I just, it's the accent. It's the fact that like we should be like beating the hell of this guy for just the way he sounds. Come on. Come on, Jesse Ventura. Beat the hell out of the French.
Where does he come from? Does he come from the same place as like not Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger?
He's Belgian.
So it's two different places.
Yeah. Some show.
Because Schwarzenegger came from Austria, right?
Yeah, Austria for him. What's your best war movie, Janet? What's the war movie you like the best?
We already did it. That was the Great Raid.
That's your favorite war film of all time.
Hmm.
Okay.
I still cry every time I watch it. It's very, very good because it didn't help the war effort at all, but it saved her. It's the only true movie about us saving our soldiers from
Sure.
prisoner of war camps.
I'm not
And
against that.
it's about a real raid, and it has interviews at the end with real veterans that were freed. I love it. It's my favorite war movie.
Okay. Before I answer, I got to ask, Mikey, can this be an HBO TV series or has it got to be a movie? We will do this soon. We'll have to.
What do you want to do?
Michael Jai White's Black Dynamite. We'll do that for February. That's a definite February.
I never heard of it.
Oh my God. Janet, you were going to get so solid in that movie.
What do you mean?
When I say solid, I mean that in the 1970s blaxploitation way. Solid. And that's like a gee golly sort of thing. It's good. It's a good thing. He says either. Okay. For movie, I would say The Sands of Iwo Jima because it's a really good film. It's John Wayne at his best. And at the very, very end of it, the protagonist dies. Just hey boys, how about some smokes? And then he takes a round in the chest, dies. But if we're not allowed to do that, if it's not a movie, if we're allowed to do an HBO TV series, then I've got to say Band of Brothers because Band of Brothers is like something that it's like the Grand Canyon. If you're a man and you're the Grand Canyon, you cry. Well, if you're a man and you watch Band of Brothers, you cry because like it's a really good film, really good 10-hour movie.
Mm-hmm. It's 10 hours.
Yeah.
Why is it so long?
It's an HBO TV series.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it was a movie.
I asked him if it could be a movie or an HBO series.
Oh, okay.
It was because that's my out. That's my out to get out of Sands of Iwo Jima. And Sands of Iwo Jima is just a smidge better for me than like Saving Private Ryan or Tora Tora. It's or even a Bridge Too Far. Like all those movies, like I could lay down a day a week or one day a week, like a Friday night or a night that I'm not with anybody else, and I could just do Bruce's war movie reviews where I talk about war movies, and I could be in business for 10 years just doing that on YouTube over and over and over again. But I don't want to do that because then I have to watch 3 movies a week. I don't want to do that.
I don't want to watch 3 movies a week. I don't have that kind of time. Lucky to get to watch one.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Yeah, Tony Jaa didn't do that good after Ong Bak. Ip Man was all right. We will be doing Michael Jai White in the first week I've got in February for Flady. Yeah, Band of Brothers. That's like one of the greatest movies, one of the greatest events of all time.
Who stars in Band of Brothers?
Who doesn't?
Well, I don't know.
Hold on. Let me pull it up for you because I said that I wasn't meaning to be an ass. I apologize, Janet. I apologize, Crafting Gamer. And Crafting Gamer, what is your favorite war movie?
It's either Saving Private Ryan or Wind Talker. Though for war series, it isn't technically a movie, or it's a documentary, which is Dogfights.
I could see that. I could see Dogfights. Guns of Navarone. Yeah, It's worth watching every episode. And the Pacific isn't bad either. Not as
What's
good.
the big red one?
That's the Mark Hamill movie. Mark
Oh.
Hamill's getting up in age. The month he dies, we'll probably do that. I hate to say that, but that's a guarantee within the next 20 years, the way he's looking right now. I saw The Machine.
You saw the what?
The Machine. The Machine was the one where Bert Kreischer is going to Russia to reenact his I'm getting kidnapped by the Russian mafia stand-up routine. It's a very funny routine, but Mark Hamill plays his father. There's this right here, the Midway film, is great. The one from 1999 or with Ben Affleck, fuck that movie. Fuck that movie. Fuck that movie.
I don't like Ben Affleck movies.
Well, Janet, what are we going to do whenever we review Team America World Police?
Well, that's a puppet movie. that doesn't matter. That's okay.
Okay.
I like that movie.
Kelly's Heroes.
America! Fuck yeah!
Yeah, I'll have to sit on a towel because I'll probably pee my pants laughing. But it's so funny. The love scene, the puppet love scene and stuff. Oh my god! And then we got the Kim Jong-un when he's singing. That movie is genius. Those guys are geniuses. I've said that before when we did the South Park movie. When we did the review on that.
Oh, you guys reviewed the South Park movie already?
Yeah, we did. Which one did we do?
Which one?
Which South Park movie did we do?
Imagination Land.
Yeah, Imagination Land.
You haven't done the first one yet?
No.
But yeah, that was fun. I just love South Park.
We'll be doing South Park. Here's an early reveal. Our second year anniversary will be South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut. Yeah, and I got to say,
me so wrongly. God, that was so good. It was so funny.
I've heard from several people I know I should check out the Stick of Truth, the video game.
Yeah, this right here, the Band of Brothers, they did a sequel called The Pacific, which is hinted at in the final episode of Band of Brothers. And not spoilers here, but at the end of Band of Brothers, after everything they've gone through, some of the soldiers are not allowed to go home and just enjoy living as normal civilians. They don't have enough points to clear. And that's why the episode's called Points. It's kind of like after everything they slog through, and you'll watch it. It's the best. It's the best. Well, Janet will watch that together on Sundays after Futurama's over. We're in season 3. You need to see the Band of Brothers. It'll take us 3 weekends. We can blow through that. Standing on our heads. It's nothing. But that is a fantastic show. You'll probably want to set aside some time. We could talk about that actually. And
we need to remember, we need to tell everybody in the chat that on Sundays we watch the movie that we're going to review, and that anyone that wants to come join us is welcome to join us as we watch the movie.
Hey Jen, have you ever seen Full Metal Alchemist?
Sorry.
Are
you into
it? Show, but it's really good.
What?
It's anime.
I've seen some anime, but it's just.
Well, how dark do you like your shows?
It depends on what the movie's about.
Oh, it's a show, but it is not as dark. I'm pretty sure you've heard the show Goblin Slayer by now and how dark it is.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't as dark as Goblin Slayer, but it gets really, really dark. Like the main story follows I think in the main story, he's like 15, 16 at most. and all of his woes started when he was like 8 or 9. And it is a really fairly dark story.
So it's for grown-ups.
Oh,
Absolutely. The first episode of Goblin Slayer, a starter party, a first level party goes hunting goblins because they think they're easy to kill. And the goblins ambush the shit out of them. And then they rape the hell out of the females after they kill the male.
I'm sorry. I was waving at Snorterpoopus.
Oh, shit. Snorterpoopus is in here?
Yeah, he said hello to me. At least I saw a little thing on the corner right there.
Okay.
Yeah. Full Metal Alchemist doesn't quite that dark.
Mm-hmm.
But there are definitely some stuff where you don't see exactly what happens, but a father turns his own daughter into a monster so he can keep his license.
You mean like sewing your kid back together and making a Frankenstein kid? Something like that?
With an animal, yeah. You familiar with the term chimera?
Mm-hmm.
He turns his own daughter into a chimera.
But you're born a chimera with spliced DNA of your twin.
Well, that's modern terminology. I was referring to the Greek terminology.
Oh, okay.
Which means just a hybrid of two animals or two or more animals. If you like darker stuff, that's definitely a good one to watch because it doesn't go too dark. Not like some animes. Okay. Like I don't know if I could watch Goblin Slayer after hearing what I've heard about it.
If you skip the first episode, you're going to be quite okay.
Is there a trailer for it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, send me the trailer on Discord so I can watch it. Kind of get it.
If I can find it, then yeah.
Get an idea of what it's about.
Yeah. It's like I'm trying to get Mr. Max to watch it too. He's not entirely sure because it is very, for lack of a better term, high fantasy. You're able to take, for example, a crap ton of, for example, right now I'm working on a orc mech for Kai.
Yeah.
Hello, Soptoplot Cuber. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at reading.
Snorterpoopus.
Hello.
Yeah. He's a polar bear.
Very cool polar bear.
Okay.
Just don't give him a hug.
Yeah, he likes to give you bear hugs. Or hang from the ceiling fan. That's what he said.
Yeah, excellent.
So, go ahead.
Excellent example from the maybe the last thing we get back to the regular thing, but excellent example of how the world works for Full Metal Alchemist. I'm building this for Kai. I could have just taken a glob of plastic, made a specialty circle, and poof, it turns into this.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire world revolves around.
You've gotten a lot done because you just had the head with a few teeth sticking out when I saw it.
Oh, yeah.
The other day. So you've gotten a lot done on it.
Well, now it's just waiting until I get more primer.
So this movie we watched, there's a scene where they kind of edited it, and that's the white room where it's all white at first, and then it gets bloody red.
It looked like an autopsy room. The way they had that table, the metal stainless steel table, in not in the center either. It was like off-centered, and then it had the drain in the floor, and it was all beautiful white tile with a beautiful window, with bright lights in there. So I thought that was I was wondering why it was so bright and beautiful. Then when the blood started happening, that's when I went, okay. It was a huge bloodbath, basically.
If anybody here likes the Doors, if you've seen the Doors album Strange Days, you recognize Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. He's the diminutive butler in his film. He's on the cover to Strange Days.
No, I didn't know that. I
didn't realize that until I'm just scanning through here. I was surprised to see that. Although the Lurch character is actually called Hans,
Mm-hmm.
and they were described in the script as a Lurch type character. It felt like Keel, the guy that played Jaws, they didn't have enough money for him, so they got a Jaws like character to star as him, and he does a few physical acting scenes in the movie, which are fairly funny. They're fairly good to watch. I sorry to like so ham-fistedly steer this back towards the movie we're talking about, but I really
That's
enjoyed seeing how everything came together. And supposedly in the script, there's a scene where Mark and Sarah visit James and Gemma after they decide not to attend the Waxwork tour.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the couple are watching, of all things, Dawn of the Dead on a crappy little television set. And this is in James's basement. And Gemma is trying to get James's attention because she wants snoo snoo. And James isn't having any of that. He's watching Dawn of the Dead. Like, I don't know, guys. Most of us are horror aficionados. We'll deal with that. But like, if your wife or girlfriend's pretty hot and it's time, it's time.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. She can't get a hold of him, can't get his attention, and she's telling him like there's something outside. Come find out that actually Mark is outside, and James goes to the window, and Mark leaps up, screams like a zombie, and James falls back on the floor, like on his ass. And Mark and Sarah peer up in the window laughing, and James is like, "Get lost!" And so James leaves to go to bed with Gemma shrugging, and she's kind of hurt. She wasn't able to get, what she wanted. But that kind of explains why at the very end of the movie, when they're showing off everything, and you see, it looks like Gemma has been turned into a vampire. And she's like, "I know you'd like to fuck me, so fuck me now." And that's not what was really in the script. She couldn't say that. So she said, "So take me now."
Yeah.
Was kind of accurate because some people, they just can't drop profanity. They can't.
Well, I
Okay.
thought it was interesting that little bit of trivia I found about the Teamsters being mad because this was a non-union movie. And so they would heckle them by taking mirrors and shining them in the faces of some of the actors, stuff like that.
They do that.
So I thought that was very interesting, some trivia, because it's a non-union film.
Now, little Miku, he was in the live-action Alf TV show segments.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if he's still alive. He might not be. But he is literally a legend, just like Sick Nation says he is.
Yeah.
Lady says, if we're going anime, we got to do Blue Submarine #6.
Don't know that one.
Neither do I. I need to broaden my expansion or my reach.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
Mr.
Oh, hi, Jerry. Hi, Jerry.
Well, if there's Jerry, where's Tom?
Oh no.
He needs a friend named Tom. That is true.
I wonder if he has a friend named Tom. Do you have a friend named Tom?
Marion's talking about Blue 6. He's got some interesting stuff. Every other Saturday, him and I sit down and we talk about games. Typically, last Saturday we talked about a spell casting system for primarily Pathfinder, but it could be for any other system. It wasn't bad. We had a good time with it. Yeah, make a good nihilistic villain. That's for Janet. He sure does have a
Oh, you
friend.
do? So when you hang out, it's a real Tom and Jerry.
You need that.
But did you did you say anything about that one scene where they were eating the guy's leg? Have we said
Not
anything
yet.
about that
I,
yet?
I figured that since you were kind of dressed the part, you could talk about the vampire segments because
Yeah, the part where we were talking about the white tiled room. It was,
yes,
and then the three brides of Dracula come in and they fight. And what was her name again? The blonde?
China.
Yeah, China breaks a leg off of a chair and uses that to stake, I think, two of them. And the other vampire came in. I guess it was the son of Dracula. Because he said his father wants you for himself or whatever type thing. But he's laying over the other guy's body and he's chained to the little like autopsy table. And his leg is like completely filleted. And that looked real to me. Didn't that look real to you? They did a great job on that. It was disgusting when you realized because you see the China coming down the stairs in a beautiful white chiffon lacy dress, and her hair is all done up and everything. And she steps down into the dining room, which has got a really long, heavy wood table, and it's got fancy, eatery stuff on it. And then there's two women on one side and a woman on the other side of the table in an empty chair. And then you have Dracula at one end and there's an open seat for China. And she sits down and he's talking about, well, we didn't know if you were going to eat or whatever. So, because, he's expecting her to come. Well, so she starts to eat the food and it looks like they're pouring blood on it, the sauce or whatever. He says it's very salty or whatever. The Dracula says that. And she's eating it and they're all eating it. It's big chunks of meat. It's what it looks like. And it's that guy's leg. But you don't realize that that's what they were eating until you go in there and see him laying there and he's all filleted. And then the other Dracula, the young Dracula, pulls a piece of meat off of his leg and eats it. It was really disgusting. But they were really eating, what was it, strawberries, watermelon, and what was the other thing? Rhubarb. Yeah, and then I don't know what kind of sauce they had it on, but that's what the people were actually eating. So they did a good job at making it look like a big chunks of meat that was filleted off of that guy's leg.
The other thing I'll never forget about that was their eating habits or their eating manners. Ugh.
It was gross, but I never thought of that point of view because everybody always talks about vampires only drinking blood, until that movie Fright Night came out and the Dracula in that ate fruits and vegetables and stuff. So you have had a few vampires that ate other food besides just drinking blood.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really gross scene to think about getting eaten alive, because I guess you want to keep the blood flowing through the meat, so that's why it tastes good, I guess, to it. If you're a cannibal type person, it's gross. But I thought that scene was really, really good. They did an excellent job for special effects wise. I think that was one of my favorite ones, was the actual way they had his leg on the table and stuff, and with him laying there like he was chained up, and that was his actual leg filleted open. It was gross.
Yeah, I agree. That was a pretty good scene.
And then when she's fighting, trying to get out of that room from him, and he's laying on top of the guy, and the guy's screaming in pain. Yeah, that was a really good fighting scene in there. But the fact that it was so bright in there and they were all vampires, that didn't affect them. See, that was something I thought was kind of different.
Well, in the original Bram Stoker's Dracula was just a night creature. He didn't actually was killed by daylight.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have been like basing it partially off of that. That's what I was.
Oh shit! Wrong movie. Sorry.
What were you trying to find? The bloody scene?
Yeah. I got it now. Boomer.
I wasn't paying attention, so that sounded almost like I think I downloaded the wrong movie moments.
Is that when he's talking to her about if she wants sauce on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, rhubarb.
Rhubarb, watermelon, strawberries.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like that.
It doesn't. This is makeup on a budget, doing a very good job.
Yeah,
I would have thought if they had some
the
sort of
prop department.
Yeah, the props department did fantastic here.
Mhm.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It looks good, and when they pick it up with their fingers, it almost looks like it almost looks like raw meat. And the stuff that they used, whatever it was, Caro syrup and some other stuff that they poured on there, it looked like blood. So they did a good job.
I'm gonna do an image search for that leg scene because that leg scene was fan-fucking-tastic.
It was great. Whoever did that did a really good job at making it look real. Whoever the special effects person was.
That'd be Bob Keane. Don't know if he's still alive. Bob Keane, we salute you, sir.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's gruesome. And the foot was moving around too. That's what was how the foot moved when it didn't have any muscle. I don't know, but it was gross.
Yeah, that
Oh, and that is just
they did so well with that.
yeah.
Well, we know that his leg is down in the table, but the way that they filmed it, and when she was coming down the stairs and looking down at him like that, it was pretty gross. And you could see the bone with little bits of like tendon and meat on it. It was pretty gruesome.
This looks really good. Now you can tell by the way his hips are kicked over, his legs going into the table.
Yeah.
But that looks fucking real.
Yeah, it did. And the way he moved around and hollered and stuff, moved his arms, and it caused his foot to move and stuff, the fake foot. It was gross. It was a good scene.
Yeah, Bob Keane did a bang up job of this. I'm just surprised that I'd never seen this movie before. I'm a physical props guy. And that movie just completely. Yeah, I know. My bad.
Chimerian. His comment's funny.
His dissecting made me think it was a leftover from a Rocky Horror, honestly. I was waiting for Meatloaf to break in.
Yeah, because chopped up in the freezer.
Okay, I wasn't trying to be a prick earlier when I asked you something, but just to show you who the cast is for Band of Brothers, this is the cast.
It's a lot of people.
Scott Grimes, Damian Lewis, Ron Livingston, Shane Taylor, Donnie Wahlberg, Pete Youngblood Hills, Matthew Lydick, Nicholas Aaron, Philip Bronte, Michael Cudlitz, one of my favorite actors that does supporting roles really well, Dexter Fletcher, Rick Gomez, James Mario, Ross McCall, Doug Allen, George Colley, Robin Lane, Nolan and Hemmings, but there's others that are involved with this that are freaking nuts. Like holy shit, these are good. All right. Okay.
A lot of people in it. It's amazing. They made enough money to pay all those people.
Okay. You have Nolan Hemmings, Robin Lang, Neil McDonough is in it, Rick Warden, Dale Dye, one of my favorite news war.
And he was in the real Marines.
Deal.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Fassbender plays Burton Christensen. Frank John Hughes, Rick Spite, Kirk Avocito, Elion Bailey, Peter McCabe. And these are the ones I remember. Phil McKee's in it. David Nicole, it's Peacock. Simon Schatzberger, it's Lizzie Newski, or whatever his name is. Jamie Bamber is in this from Battlestar Galactica. Rocky Marshall, David Zimmer, he plays Herbert Sobel. That guy, his family, after the show aired, Sobel's family went on the warpath. He wasn't that bad. He was a good man. Don't be dragging him through the mud. No, your son was a piece of shit to his troops.
But what did he do?
He was really a good training officer, but he had nobody to hold his leash. And he made the guys run up and down this fucking hill numerous times during the week. And then, like, on a nice day, he ordered the cooks to make spaghetti. And it was raining, and he's like, all right, guys, we're gonna have spaghetti. It's a rainy day, no big deal. And then, like, an hour into lunch, he's like, fuck all of you, everyone up the hill. And they're going up the goddamn hill, vomiting their guts out. It's such a good show. Doug Cockle, Fred Farnsworth, Stephen Graham, Tom Hardy's in it. Larry McIntosh, Ian Robinson, Jason O'Mara. This is one of the best shows you'll ever see, Janet. And it, like I said, when men watch this show, it's like they're watching the Grand Canyon. They just cry. It's that good. It's okay to cry if you're watching Band of Brothers or burying your dog or you're at the Grand Canyon. That's the only time it's available to cry.
And what about guys with legitimate mental issues?
They just have to hold up that card. That's it. I have legitimate mental issues. Okay, fuck.
Well,
not to make this about. Sorry, I'll shut up. It's not really important.
It's okay. We can edit that out in post.
I was gonna bring up the other trivia thing that I found about the director Anthony Hitchcock, getting his brother to parade around in blue jean denim shorts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that one of the big producers that was like breathing down their neck about it being too high for a rated R or whatever, is to keep him from cutting his movie all up. He had his brother parading around in those denim shorts, so in front of this guy to keep his attention off of them editing. I thought that was funny. So I just wanted to bring that up.
That is funny.
That would be a valid tactic.
Well, apparently he knew what he was doing because it worked. Because he said that bloody scene that probably would have been all cut out because it was too bloody. So that was really good. Oh, and the scene that they filmed with the zombies was filmed in one night.
A lot of this is filmed in like 1 or 2 evenings, and that's it. This movie was done so quote unquote slapdash, but they had professionals schedule and do logistics. They did everything right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did good too, because the budget was, $3 million. So
3. That's it.
Yeah, and they had a lot of people in, and they also had like the director's wife and his executive assistants and stuff like that dress up as zombies. So, they used everyone that they could get as extras and stuff in the movie because they didn't have the budget to hire more people. So I thought that was good too. Good use of, of their people. Get them to fill all the gaps. So I wanted to bring that up. So anything else you guys want to talk about the movie?
I'm actually kind of not deflated, but I'm actually kind of like enjoying the moment of like we've talked about the movie a lot. We also bunny trailed a lot off of it, but that was a really good film. And anybody that thinks that we won't enjoy guilty pleasure movies, take this as an example. We love guilty pleasure movies.
Yeah.
This is like, guys, this is like when your wife lets you have a man cave and you go out and you decorate it with a Hooters poster or a Hooters calendar, and you don't put it on the wall facing across from the door. You want to put that like on the wall where the door's at. That way, when she comes in and summons you for supper, she doesn't see you oogling,
On the back of the door. That way she doesn't see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
See, Janet's a good wingman.
Well, you know.
But I'm
unless,
just saying,
of course,
you don't want to upset the person who makes your sandwiches. Right.
Well, the whole keeping your calendar on the other side of the door is unless your wife's like Janet, in which case she's going to be in there. Ooh, that's a good set. Ooh, what do you think of these ones? Oh, that's another good set.
Yep, that looks good. I like her outfit, or I love her boots. Because that's all she's wearing, right?
Yeah. That orange, those tight orange shorts. In Iowa, it's funny, you go to Des Moines, Iowa for the Hooters, and it's like all the girls, like they're corn fed, and you can just hear the shorts barely hanging on.
Yeah.
That thread. Ooh.
Well, most women, I'm going to give you guys some advice. Most women wouldn't be jealous if you were looking at, a magazine with naked girls or anything like that. If you're watering your lawn, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
If you're taking care of your garden and they're satisfied in that department, they're not going to get jealous of you looking at other women. They'll probably even be more interested in looking out the window and seeing the guy mowing the yard across the street, things like that. When they're not jealous. So they're more likely to say, "Hey, I'm going to go in there and make a tray of snacks, and I'm going to bring it in the bedroom. We're going to redo the movie 9.5 weeks," or something like that. Is what you'll get. You get rewards if you're good. If you're a good boy. And you take care of your woman. You tell her she's pretty, tell her you love her, pick her flowers, stuff like that. Make her feel special. And she'll make you feel special. That's from a woman.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
There you go.
Janet, what did you actually, before we go into that, we're about an hour and a half into our show for the night. And if the chat would do me a favor, if you've seen this movie, go ahead, put your scores in, and tell us what you thought. Tell us what you thought of the film. In your, we'll read the reviews, and that we get in the chat. But I want to know what you guys think about Waxwork, because this was a hell of a lot better than I thought it would be.
Me too.
And I'm not going to rate it a 61 like IMDb did. I know that much.
I definitely would give it 7.5 for sure. Just on the work that they did to fill all the gaps due to their lack of funds. They did really good. I mean, working as a team to get this accomplished. So I'm definitely going to give them kudos for that. And the fact that they, I don't know, I felt like they cheered. It was like a little cheerleading squad for all the great movies that we used to watch growing up. I like that. That was another thing I liked. But there were some really good things in this movie. Just like I said about the sets, and then when the person fell into the set, they were all of a sudden there, immersed into it. And yeah, the special effects, like the barrier between the set and the us, on the outside, was kind of hokey and stuff. But when this movie came out in 1988, none of that was hokey. That was like top notch the way it looked. And the one thing that took me out of some of the scenes, and I remember commenting on it, was the music. I didn't feel like the music went with what was going on. It was almost like they were playing Keystone Cops music, when they were having a fight scene or somebody was chasing someone. I just thought it was, that's what made it corny and hokey. So that's my score.
I would agree with that. Crafting Gamer, what did you think?
9.5. I absolutely love this movie.
9.5. Wow.
That's really high.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that you do like it. I don't agree with it, but I mean, you said this is one of your favorite guilty pleasure films
of all time.
And that makes sense. This is a pretty easy to get into movie. The first act of it is probably the worst part of it. There are some weak parts of it aside from the first act. Whenever David Warner's not on screen, it feels like the actors are feeling themselves out a little bit. But once Act 2 starts, it gets into better gear. The sound editing and the music selection is probably the part of the movie that, aside from William Shatner being a cop, is probably the hardest part for me to see. Once the cop's off screen, I really got into the film. I'm sorry. I enjoyed. I really enjoyed the special effects of this film. I don't know why, but finding out they only had $3 million to play with boosted this movie up like 10 points for me, because I'm giving it a 75. I was going to give it a 65, but I think this movie is stupidly just enjoyable. Like, literally, you can turn your brain off, enjoy a schlocky horror film, which has got some comedy elements. You've got some characters in here. You've got David Werner, which he adds a lot of this movie. A lot of this movie is David Werner for me. And I don't know why I hold him in such high regard, but I absolutely loved him and all the scenes he was in.
Mm-hmm.
And I really dug it. I mean, there's a scene where they have the zombies, and the zombie scene looks better than the majority of zombie films I've watched.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a 7.5 out of 10, says Six Nations Third Wing Kings. Let me go through the roster here before we change gears, because I think we are about to change gears, but I want to get everybody's reviews on this. Let's see. Kai says this is an enjoyable 7. Seen a lot worse low budget movies on $3 million. This is solid. Yeah, for some odd reason, that little fact right there, that movie drove it up for me, just on the fact that they had that little money. They fucking knocked it completely out of the park. Solid 7 out of 5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. It was really well done for what they had. You've got to feel they enjoyed this movie. It was not a quick money grab or a paycheck film. Has a lot of heart in it, a lot of good casting. The mini butler and the tall butler, I thought, were like the icing on top.
I forgot about them, but yeah,
I couldn't forget about them. The little guy was in a lot of movies, and he also played Alf, and I'd forgotten about that.
Oh, he played Alf?
Yeah, he was a live
I
action
didn't know that.
And then you have
He
everything
played Tom
else.
Thumb.
What?
He played Tom Thumb, didn't he?
I believe so. This movie has, like, if you want a low budget horror action film, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a really good version of that. I wouldn't say it's horror comedy. Horror comedy is much better covered by Evil Dead 1 and actually Evil Dead 2. Straight out comedy is Army of Darkness, but Evil Dead 2 is my high point for that entire series. I love Evil Dead 2. I just got to watch it.
The lead actor, he was the one from Gremlins, right?
I think so.
And so did he do this one before Gremlins or after?
After.
Okay, because I thought he was a way better actor in Gremlins than he was in this one.
That might be related to the paycheck involved. I don't know.
The girl that played the Virgin, that actress played, she was the best actress or the actor out of those, all the younger people to me. Mm-hmm.
Sarah. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was the most believable for her character, especially the parts where she was getting whipped, and hanging on, his leg, wanting to stay, and her interaction with her love interest, basically, or whatever. That was all good. I mean, she did a really good job, I thought.
Yeah, Zach is known for Gremlins 1 and 2, Survived, and Madness in the Method, according to IMDb. He's in a bunch of other stuff. He's still an active actor today.
Mm-hmm.
But he is known for Waxworks and Gremlins, which is great because I think he did pretty good with this movie. I thought Gremlins, he did fantastic with, but that was 4 years before this.
Yeah. But the thing is, maybe it was because of the childlike quality he seemed to have, because he seemed younger. He seemed less mature or something compared to some of the other actors that were supposed to be his same age as him.
I think he actually was better friends on screen and off screen with his actress from Gremlins.
Mm-hmm.
Phoebe Cates really drove home her side of the Gremlins tale, and I think those two just have a better on-screen chemistry than the girl that played China on this, which I'm not against the girl that played China. I wanted to see her in more movies, but Michelle Johnson can only do so much.
Well, she just wasn't. I didn't think she was very good. I just didn't think she was a very.
No, she's not.
The other girl I thought was a way better actress.
She is.
As for her character in that movie.
Yeah. Michelle Johnson was in a movie with Sir Michael Caine.
Mm-hmm.
And they were lovers. He actually is going to Spain with some friends of his, and they bring their kids, just to go on vacation. He ends up fucking one of his friend's daughters.
Oh.
And that's her.
Okay.
It's not a bad movie.
I hadn't seen that movie either, apparently.
It's called Blame It on Rio.
Oh, I remember that movie, people talking about it, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, well, it was popular to talk about because you had a 70 or 60-year-old man at the time with a 30-year-old woman. How dare he?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. If they're both happy.
Was a good movie. Not bad, at least. I think Waxworks is a better film for her, but Blame It on Rio, she gets more of her romantic side exposed. But that movie is carried by Michael Caine. Michael Caine carried the shit out of that movie.
Yeah, maybe that's one of the reasons why I really didn't like that couple, because it was like you had a rich guy that could have anything he wanted, and he was attractive, and he's got a girlfriend or a girl that he likes that talks about how she's sleeping with every single guy in school, around town, and he's pining over her. I just thought that was lame. I thought that put him just made him look like a loser. You know what I mean? So maybe that's one reason why I just had a hard time accepting I don't know, the way that the story they were trying to tell us about their romance or whatever. Because I mean, I don't know. I just thought, who would want a girl that has a different guy every night? I mean, to me, it just didn't seem real or realistic for the what they were trying to portray. I guess I didn't like it.
Okay.
Just didn't like that relationship. I thought it just made her look like a tramp, which she was, and made him look like a loser because he was pining over this girl because she's, dragging him around by a leash, basically, and she could say whatever she wanted, do whatever she wanted, and she treated.
Janet, all of us have had a friend that sold their sex organs to have this relationship. And it's tugging them in that person's direction the whole time. We've all had that. All of us. How many of you in the chat have had friends that cheered when you had a breakup because they thought that person was bad for you?
Yeah, I guess. But
Hey, Chuck, how you doing? Hello. This Crafting Gamer, do you have any final thoughts about this film before we switch gears?
As a movie monster lover, my very, very first movie monster I fell in love with was Godzilla, like the Japanese Godzilla. Yeah. And I just started movie monster from there. That's probably the reason why this is such a high movie for me, is because this was almost a perfect movie, just in the fact you have so many monsters and he's trying to bring all of them trying and in the end sort of succeeds to bring them all back to life, and it's just it is so awesome. I love it.
What did you think about the movie Last Action Hero?
Last Action Hero. I don't think I've seen it.
What? Oh, buddy.
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I've seen it.
Is that the one where the Arnold Schwarzenegger comes out of the screen?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen it.
Last Action Hero is a 1993, not so well remembered movie, but it's kind of interesting. It's got some really interesting parts to it. But I think it's a fun film. I think it's really a fun film, and there's a lot of just 80s schlock that they stuff into it just to make fun of 80s schlock. It's a very interesting take on the action hero genre. A young boy basically wins a golden ticket, and he wins his way. For some other reason, he gets his golden ticket, and he gets the chance to teleport himself into a movie with his favorite action hero, Jack Slater, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger and him hang out and go around, do stuff, and then something happens, and they both get pulled back into the real world, where the rules of physics don't apply to Jack Slater, and it applies to Jack Slater, and he starts experiencing pain. He breaks a car window, and he's like, ah, because he thought, I could just use this car real quick, I'll hotwire it, and we'll get across town. There's a bad guy to chase, and he fails, but he experiences all these things for the first time, and watching Schwarzenegger try to do the fish out of water in a proper context, from him being an action schlock hero to this, was a lot of fun. Just in Discord, text me your birthday, and for your birthday, we'll watch that movie together, because I think you need to see it. Hey, Jackie Blue.
Okay.
I think you would love that movie, because it's got some of the same elements that you just said, for the exact reasons why this movie rates so high for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Lady throws this out there, which at some point Yeah, I'd be open to talking about this, even if it was just the 2 hour first episode of Greatest American Hero with William Catt and the second most beautiful woman on television, Connie Sullica.
Well, that actor from The Greatest American Hero, he was in a horror movie. I think it was called House, wasn't it? With the guy that played Bull on Night Court.
Night Court, Richard Mole.
That was a great, scary movie. I remember seeing that one, and I thought it was really, really good. I think it was called House.
Is the one you're talking about where a guy lives in a house and it basically the house is super haunted, all the stuff where it starts happening and he even starts hallucinating?
Well, no. The one I'm talking about was the actor from The Greatest American Hero, and his son is there, and his son goes swimming and disappears. And his son
that is the one I'm talking about.
Oh, it is? Okay. Well, he wasn't hallucinating. It was really happening.
Well, at one point he hallucinates and shoots the girl he was dating.
Oh, yeah.
Because he thinks he was a horrible monster.
Yeah. But the thing is, that was a really good movie, too. I mean, I remember that movie. I don't remember when it came out or anything, but I remember how scary it was. And I
have a sequel to that movie?
I don't know. Was there?
Yeah. I own it.
Oh, it was good. I just really liked it. I thought it was a really, really good special effects. Had a lot of good stuff in it. I like a movie that I can't figure it out right away. You going up and down around, on the roller coaster ride and not really being able to figure it out. That's a good movie to me, whether it's a scary movie or not. Oh, hi, Trina. Thank you for stopping by. Say hi.
Another treasured guest. Hello, Bone.
Oh, hi, Bone. Thank you for stopping by.
I'm really happy Bone's in a better spot now. There was a while there where medically, like, Bone was kind of like me, and he wasn't doing good. It's like, I'm glad to see him going around doing stuff.
Me too.
Yeah, the sequel I heard wasn't that good. I remember everybody talking about House. William Catt was a big thing in the 80s, and then he did a D&D movie in 2006 or 7. We'll have to watch that someday. It's not that good. It's got Kelly LeBrock in it, though, as the hot chick.
Yeah, I can't believe you guys haven't wanted to do that one where she's like the boys' creator by wearing bras on their head. What was the name of that one?
Weird Science.
Yeah, Weird Science.
We will do that someday, but we've got to wade through these other amazing movies first. I mean,
there's so many of them. I never realized how many great movies there were. Until some of these movies that I've gotten to see, I never would have watched if you hadn't been for you guys saying you need to watch this movie. I'm on Cutthroat Island. I mean, I still can't believe that I had never seen it. I never, and how good it was.
I'm just going to say that, like, the chat is basically the people on the ground, and we are kind of on, the Mystery Science Theater stuff. They're sending us the movies that we got to watch, and some of them are really bad, some of them are really good. It's kind of funny because I would love to have that where, like, the chat's involved on that all the time, but man, that would be crazy too. Next week, Crafting Gamer, have you been painting on a figure throughout this whole episode?
Yes, I have. In fact, I just finished.
What have you got there for us?
I don't got the good camera in, but it's still good enough.
Bring him in.
Let's see. Hold on. Let's see if I can right here where it's down. There we go. Now we're in the light. It's a 2B figure. It's a 2.
Is that from one of the anime movies that you like, or
That's
what?
actually from a video game.
Oh, a video game.
I've been
Okay.
meaning to check out the video game for a while now. It's just the fact that this character looks simple but awesome at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
I figured why not.
The video game, Janet, is called what is it? Near Mata?
I think so. It starts with an N.
Yeah.
Kyle's probably be able. Kai's probably
it'll be
already
in the chat
shouting
here
it
in
at
just
us.
a second. Guys, what video game was 2B originally in? No respond. Next week we will be watching the classic 1995 film Stigmata with Patricia Arquette.
Mm-hmm. And Gabriel Byrne. He plays.
Now, this is an interesting game just for the fact that it's one really pretty. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's made by the people that make some of the best CGI for their own games. It's made by Square and Enix, or Squeenix as it's called. But you have three main characters that are in that game. And you start with one, and then after you play through 20 or 25 hours of them, you go to another character, and then you go to another character. It's like a 80-hour long piece, and it's very well interwoven. A lot of my grown men friends have played this game, and I've gotten told later that they had damn near an emotional breakdown as everything came to its conclusion as it was all wrapped up. So if you like a emotionally exhausting video game, Nier Automata. And there's a sequel out to it now. But
well, it depends on the emotionally exhausting. If it's like emotionally like gonna wear you out because it itself is emotional, maybe. But if it's gonna wear you out because you're just so disappointed it's over, yeah, I can understand that.
Not really so much on the second one, because it ends, yes, but it also has a sequel. But just the whole arcing storyline that weaves through the three characters, and as it wraps up, you realize one of those characters is never going to be healthy or possibly sane again.
Oh, lovely.
It's great. And also, it isn't all just digital tits and ass.
Even though you wouldn't mind, I don't think.
As much as it's comfortable to have a set of bolt-on boobs or ass press against you, it's so much nicer when they're softer and real.
Why? Have you had a robot pressed against you before?
No, but I had a girlfriend that worked at Twin Peaks, and for my birthday, her and all of her friends decided they would like pretty much smush me with like B cups, and I was kind of uncomfortable because I could feel the bags underneath the flesh. Like,
oh yeah,
it just kind of took me out of the moment for a second. Like, I should be enjoying this, but no. I don't think they're gross, but I think that whenever you're like in a pickle like that, or you are the pickle, I don't think it's comfy. I really don't. Maybe if it was just like one girl and her fake boobs, it'd been fine. No, there was like 7 of them pressing on me, and I didn't realize I was that fat. Like, you can all 7 do this? God, I'm a big person. Yeah. Boobs. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I didn't think guys cared. I thought, boobs were boobs.
Janet, we like real boobs. We prefer real boobs. We'll take fake boobs. Like, there's probably 7 women I know that served, and they had various injuries happen to them thanks to the global war on terror, which we're soon getting a volume 2 of that. But they've served in the sandbox, and they came back with parts of them missing, or like parts of their arm blown off. Did you know that when you lose part of your tricep, part of your boob goes away? Well, I didn't find that out until like a friend of mine, like, she comes back and she has like lopsided boob. So they had to reconstruct her arm a little bit.
Oh, I guess that it's because this muscle under here.
Yeah.
If you don't use your, that's like me. I only do certain arm exercises because that's why gymnasts don't really have any boobs because they don't have any boobs are almost all fat. So when you use those muscles and stuff, you're rubbing all that, you're melting all that fat away. So I do arm exercises, but I try not to do anything with my pecs because I've
Hey, Bruce.
very little.
I'm about to give Kai a bit of a spoiler.
Oh.
No, it's supposed to be down there right here. I think Tigger looks officially orcish. And if anybody cares about the big silver thing, I'm going to paint it up so it looks like a tailpipe.
I could see the orcs fucking with that. Yeah, but go ahead, Janet. You were talking about boobs. Sorry.
I was just saying that I don't want to lose my boobs, so I try to be very careful about what kind of exercises I do.
Yeah, do you do like flies or dips or anything, or no?
Well, I use machines mostly.
Okay.
I work for like 2.5 hours out on machines for different parts.
See, I thought you would, of all people, you would be like, I use these 5-pound dumbbells, but I use them for everything, and I can hold them at any angle for any length of time. And that's just kind of how I saw you. But okay.
Sorry, I put weights around my ankles and my wrists when I work out for that extra, poundage.
And then when she takes them off, the ground explodes around her.
Yeah,
it sometimes feels like that. But yeah, I have a routine. I just like to stay toned. I want my skin to stay, toned and firm, but I don't want to be all muscular. I don't want to look like I could pick up a house or something. So I want to look like a girl.
You really need to live in the Naruto universe then. They can look like pipsqueaks, but be strong enough to pick up a house.
I mean, a good Amazonian woman that's not, buff, like in the movie, the Wonder Woman movie, they did a pretty good job at getting the women that looked
athletic
and athletic, but not, like men with boobs.
My favorite, if Death by Snoo, if I could order a Death by Snoo memory from Recall, it would be with Bobby from The Expanse.
Mm-hmm.
I love that actress. She looks like a softball player that drives a fucking Subaru, and I don't give a shit. I would be so happy getting smushed by that.
Yeah, there's a lot of I've seen a lot of calendars that some guys have had, and they're all like women that are to me they look like guys, with long nails and hair, and they've got their lips done, they're all like sticking out or whatever. And then they have, fake boobs on top of the muscles, and you can tell them because they're like round circles, and I'm like, I just don't think that's attractive. And I don't like men that look like that either. I mean, I want a guy that looks healthy, but if he's all like, he can't even put his arms down to his side, I'm usually not going to, give him a second look. I just don't think that's attractive to me physically. I mean, I like someone that looks like they care about their health, but they can have love handles.
I'm pretty sure Bruce will agree with me on this one. A woman who has a little bit of muscle, like those animes, the anime chicks who lean between muscular and super skinny, where they got a slight six pack,
athletic,
just barely defined muscles.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, athletic because they look healthy. Yeah. I think that a lot of people are attracted to healthy looking person, because they get enough sun, so they're getting vitamin D, or they work in their yard, or they work on cars, and whatever it is that they do, they're active. And I think that is what most people are looking for, when they notice that type of stuff, I think. But that's just me. So.
Yeah, admittedly, I need to see about shedding a few more pounds.
But, I talk about that a lot. I just say, start walking around your house, walk up and down the stairs. There's lots of things to start out to get you your metabolism started. Because once you start exercising, you'll start noticing you have more energy, stuff like that. So it's good for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to share something that came across my feed, and I can't help but watch it and rewatch it.
And what is this?
This cop is enjoying donuts.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoying some donuts on his lunch break, Deputy Mercer decided to release his canine partner to see what would happen, and the reaction that followed.
I am about to show you something that will make you smile.
Although it did not disappoint.
The dog likes donuts too.
He's
Yep.
a cop.
Donuts.
Of course.
Yeah, he's
would.
a police officer. Oh, he's a cop dog. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's adorable. But
Thumbs
who
up.
opened the door knowing the dog was going to go for the donuts?
The deputy did. The deputy unlocked it.
Well, that's
Supposedly, he said he did it knowing that he didn't know what was that he was trying to figure out what happened. The big grin on his face said he knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, we've determined that to be a lie. I think next week's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to watch a movie that Janet's been wanting to watch for a while called Stigmata.
funny.
And it's one of my movies that I remember seeing advertisements for, but I didn't know who Patricia Arquette was. So
And you haven't seen it, right?
never.
Good. So that's good. I like it once in a while when you get to watch a movie you haven't seen, because that's happened to me quite a bit with you guys. Because you guys are always whipping something out that I haven't seen before.
Burr missile deployed. Donuts destroyed. Crafting Gamer, once again, thank you for coming to our show. And I need to give you a shout out. We do have memberships available on this channel, and you've been the one to bite, and appreciate you doing that first and foremost. There's 2 tiers I've got available, and you're going to be in you're going to be doing a beta test with us on a game, and it's not going to be quote unquote like a beta test, because a beta test is typically for RPGs, for tabletop games. You are encouraged to do stupid things or things with the system that would be like breaking the system, and you can do that. I don't really care if you do or you don't, but I actually would rather you get in a character and enjoy yourself in the world. We'll be doing that for the next 3 months, I believe. And you're the first invite I have off that. Also bringing in Flady and Six Nation 31 Kings, and have some other slots that are available for that as well. I'll be getting in touch with those people that have already told me they wanted to be involved with it. For those of you, oh my God, yes, boobs, yes, Patricia Arquette.
Yeah, she's definitely she's stacked compared to her sister.
Yeah. You know who she reminds me of for some odd reason? I think of Patricia Arquette, and I think of her, and I think of Meg Tilly at once. I shouldn't, right? That's just wrong. But I think of those 2 ladies, and I don't know why. Good 90s girls. Lady, yes, I'll be doing free gens.
Who was the actress that was in Chucky?
That was the first Chucky was the lady that played the dolphin scientist in Star Trek 4: The Voyage Home. Catherine, can't remember her last name, but I thought it was Catherine, and I remember that because I watched a few reviews of Star Trek 4: The Voyage Home, and they all mentioned that she was in the Chucky So looking forward to that. Stigmata next week. The week after that, Bright Night, one of my favorite movies when I was a teenager. Amanda Bierce in it. I recently found a panel where they were talking in 2019 or 2020 at a Comic-Con, and the only ones that weren't there were the ones that had passed. So like Roddy McDowell wasn't there. Amanda Bierce was going on, and she was doing fantastic. Like she was actually behaving herself, not acting like angry lesbian that she is. She was actually behaving like a person. Diana Manoff from Grease from Chucky, Diana Manoff from Grease was in Chucky Part 1. Jennifer Tilly was the bride of Chucky. Catherine Hicks. Thank you, Goat Corpse. Thank you.
Catherine Hicks.
Yep.
She was in the first one.
She was in the first Chucky movie, and then she was also in the great Star Trek Part 4 Voyage Home, which is the literal Save the Whales Star Trek movie.
Yeah. Okay.
94 might have been a bad year for your film heroes and directors, but Six Nations, 31 Kings. Just look at this. We had The Professional. We had Pulp Fiction. We could actually just look at my first 30 videos, and 5 of them are from 94. We had Bad Girls, which if you like really bad cowboy movies, there's that.
I love that movie still.
That movie is a pox upon my ass. Did
you think it was worse in the Cowboy Way?
Those movies are the quality of film that once I've seen them, I can breathe a sigh of relief. I don't have to repeat that. It's like you ever have a bad date that goes too far. Well, never mind. If you've ever had a bad date that goes too far, like you're enjoying yourself and they say the right things and they lie their ass off to you, and you end up in bed by the end of the first date, and you wake up the next day and they're pulling their teeth out of the jar and they get the wig off.
No, this never happened to me.
This has happened to me before, and you're looking at this person you're not who I thought you were, and she's like, I'm not who you thought I was. Yes, you're right. And you're like, do you have a penis? And she's like, no, I have a vagina. And it's like, oh, thank God.
Then you look downstairs, it's actually a mangina.
Yeah, it's not a mangina, but you regret looking, but you breathe a sigh of relief. It's not a penis, and it's not got some funny scars by it. It's in mind, kids.
Oh my God!
It's just one of those things where the entire date was a lie. You completely she had, when she took the makeup off, she went from a 10 to a 2, and it's just
But wait, you got to stop for a second. Did you reach your, did you get to have one?
Yeah.
If you had one, then your point, then it was worth it, right?
No, because I had such a good time. I was thinking as I drifted off to sleep amid the happy thoughts, this is going to happen again. This could be forever. And then, next thing I know, I'm waking up 4 hours later, and I feel kind of funny, and my stomach's kind of stumbling a bit. It's doing that slow tumble in your guts, you got to poop now. And so as I'm getting out of the bed, I'm seeing that things. How long have I been gone? Oh no, it was just yesterday. You didn't lose the whole weekend. But yet when I come back in the bedroom, she's getting up, and it's this is not who I was with when I got here. She's like, well,
you had a threesome.
Yeah. I swear to God, I might be exaggerating with a Dr. Girlfriend, but it felt like I was with Dr. Girlfriend after all of that was over, and it was not a good experience.
And then on the way out, I'll call you.
And yeah, she sounds like a chick you send out of the back door of the barracks. Yes. Yeah.
See, that's why I always tell all my guy friends to always have condoms, because that girl that you want to gnaw your arm off the next morning could be the mother of your child because you went out with that person. So,
Quarter of the night.
so I'm just saying, that's what I told my guy friends. You know, I tried to help them, just like you said. You got a friend, you want to help them, and tell them you need to, just turn around and go home. Don't go out with that one. But they didn't always listen.
Yeah, well, I got a kind of a benefit. I was raised with a mother who didn't like wearing makeup, and I got a taste for women who don't wear much makeup.
Well,
Maybe a little
wrong with
here,
that.
a little there, but
I've had guy friends, and I'm like, what does she look like without that makeup on? Because I never see her. She has so much makeup. I don't know how she could even open and close her eyes. That's why I thought that, those shirts that you'll see sometimes, you can buy them at like thrift stores, and they got like smeared stuff on the front, and it says, "I ran into Tammy Faye."
yeah.
So I just thought that was hilarious. But you could do that today with, half the people out there now, the superstars, like, what was her name? Lady Gaga and stuff. So I ran into Lady Gaga and just have smeared makeup on your shirt.
Yeah. I actually knew a guy whose girlfriend would literally be like that, because even he did not know what she looked like without makeup.
Well, I guess he's lucky, because as long as she wore it, like, he didn't have to, see what was under there.
Yeah. No idea if they got married.
But one day, she's going to quit wearing it. So
Yeah.
You got to know what you're getting. So.
Oh, it's like one of my favorite memes. A fat guy and a fat chick. I got to see about getting into shape so I can get someone. They both get into shape. They meet each other. They fall in love. 6 months later, they're both fat fucks again.
Oh.
But they're still in love, according to the comic.
Well, that's good.
We will be watching the movie Waiting sometime around April of next year.
Which movie? Waiting?
Waiting. Have you ever seen Waiting?
Mm-mm. No.
Oh, you guys want to be there for that. And that's where we're going to end tonight. When you hear that, Sunday. I know this sounds weird, but I need you to come on Sundays. About 4:00 is when I open up the server, and start off with about 3 hours of a wonderful show, and that is called Futurama. Watch all of it. We're in season 3 right now. We watched this to the end of the older episodes. I'm not going to watch the new episodes. I have to have the filter of time pass over them before we can see if they're any good. But come to this server here. It's going to be Bruce's big ass Pathfinder game. And come in, and we are down in the voice chat watching Futurama. About 7:30, I swap over to the movie. We're going to be watching next Sunday Stigmata. It's okay, Jackie. And the fact that you made it in here, that tells us you cared.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, dear.
Thank you.
Yeah, waiting. Literally, don't fuck with people who handle your food. That's the entire theme of that movie, and it's completely explained by the end.
Oh no, I don't know if I can watch that movie. Well, I don't really. I mean, if it's in restaurants, maybe.
Yes.
But I don't use drive-through, so if it's just drive-through, I can handle it.
It's a movie about Bennigan's. Do you remember the Bennigan's restaurant chain?
It sounds familiar.
Oh God. It was supposed
Where
to be
was
fine.
Bennigan's at?
Oh, they
It
hadn't
begins again at Bennigan's. Was that something from that or whatever?
I'm looking for it. It is a American restaurant chain, Irish pub-themed American casual dining restaurant founded in 1976 in Atlanta, Georgia by restaurateur Norman Brinker. It is one of the original casual dining concepts. It was very easy to get into. They have, I'll pull up the menu, but they have some really good crowd pleasers. The movie could be set at a Bennigan's because the theming throughout the movie is very, very popular. They have, I'll go to the crowd pleasers real quick. Choose 2 or choose 3. Egg rolls, broccoli bites, boneless buffalo wings, quesadillas, nachos, cheesy potato skins, pub bites, mangia mozzarella, egg rolls, premium buffalo wings, tower of onion rings. Okay. Potato skins, buffalo wings.
And they're not in business anymore?
Oh, they're still in business. They're very much in business.
Okay. Well,
They
that
sold
looks
me the
like
Tower
a
of
good
Onion
menu.
Rings.
Yeah. That looks like a good menu. So what were you going to say about Bennigan's?
Well, this movie could have been, the movie Waiting could be literally set at a Bennigan's restaurant because it looks like it's set at a Bennigan's restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is
they
that
have big
good or
signs
bad?
up front, steak and nail.
Is that bad?
No, it's great. This is just off the
Yeah, that looks like
Bennigan's.com.
yummy, delicious food.
Yeah, it's
Making me
really.
hungry.
And for those of you that have watched this for over a year, if you've gained a pound or two, sorry about that. We like food.
I love beef.
Yeah, they have plenty of beef. They have good fried food. Their fried onion rings are good. The fried mushrooms are great. Their French fries are great. Like Paula Deen could hang out in the back of the restaurant and make it more healthy.
Aw. Thank you. That's sweet for you to say that, Brett. It's all right. Who's in the...
Yeah, if you have one of those, it's like a high school date night place, but it's fairly casual dining. It's a rung above Steak and Shake. It's a little bit below Red Lobster, or maybe on par with Red Lobster now. I so connect with the line cooks of this movie. Yeah, I'm glad I don't work in a kitchen anymore. They're not out of business. They're still in business. Let me get their locations up.
Well, their menu looks like they're in business.
Yeah, they're still in business. They're not going out anytime soon. For those of you that are in Elgin, Illinois, Clear Lake, Iowa, Urbandale, Iowa, Mount Pleasant, Michigan, Borger, Texas, Monahans, Texas. Holy shit, Monahans? Okay, for those of you who don't know about Monahans, Texas, Bruce is going to do story time real quick. You have Dallas Fort Worth, and that's in central North Texas. It's on Interstate 20. If you go west from Bennigan's or from Dallas Fort Worth, you bump into Monahans 3 hours later in the middle of nowhere. It's like they have a well in the center of town, and it keeps the town wet, and that's it. Everywhere else is filled with sand and caliche, and there's no reason for you to be there at all. Mandan, North Dakota, Steubenville, Ohio, Coralville, Iowa, Dubuque, Iowa. They are really strong in Dubuque. It was founded in Atlanta, Georgia. Keep that in mind. Here's the internationals in Bahrain, Cyprus, El Salvador, Boca del Rio, Mexico.
Wow, they got a lot of restaurants.
They do. And they're building one in Pakistan, and Nicaragua, Honduras, and more El Salvador and Guatemala. Holy shit.
I didn't know anyone in Guatemala had money.
Neither did I. This is a new thing. But that is like the the setting for the movie Waiting. And I think one of the cooks or one of the script writers worked at a Bennigan's, and when they did the theming, they went and did a site location to a Bennigan's, and they got it down, and they like, okay, we'll build this.
Well, when they rent a restaurant, they get the kitchen and everything. So when they pay them, more than what they would have made if they stayed open.
Yeah.
So they're not going to lose the money. So it could have been against. You'd have to look it up and see what restaurant they used.
They used to have one in Florida. They had a lot in Illinois. Those are now closed. They all moved to Iowa, apparently. Apparently, Iowa took over, like Bennigan's took over the Hooters locations of Iowa. But when I was at the Hooters in Iowa, I did a couple remodels because I was jobbing at the time. And those Iowa girls did not compare to Illinois college town girls. I'm just going to say I love Iowa girls, but there's a quality difference. Brett, you're sweet on Janet. That's awesome.
Oh.
Have you seen Puddle Cruisers? It's a must. Their first movie.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. All of the ones in Illinois closed, apparently, according to that website. Anyway, we will be back here next week, and Janet and I will be hosting for that, watching the movie Stigmata Sunday night. Swing by our Discord channel, and actually my Discord channel, but we'll have links over there in her channel as well. And if you have questions, just go ahead, text us. We can respond in kind. We're not big. We don't have a team of receptionists to handle that. I really don't want to get that big. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. But next week we'll be back here. We'll be doing more stuff, watching Stigmata Sunday night, discussing it Monday, and look forward to seeing everybody in here then.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Crafting Gamer, do you want to?
Sorry, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Not a problem.
It was a pleasure to have you here, Crafting Gamer. Thank you, sir. On many levels.
Always fun to be on.
I'm glad you enjoy this because you're going to be probably a repeat guest. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.